Now, I know that things have not always been rosy for rock star tax attorney Beverly Winstead. And around 2011, you had some pretty traumatic things happen in your world, in your life. And you talked about showing up in spite of or in the face of those things. Talk to us about what happened during that period.
Yeah, 2011 undoubtedly was the most difficult period in my life. For those of you who know me, you know me very well. I did lose my brother, my younger brother, in that year. I lost him to liver disease,
Mm.
and it was a very trying time, to have to lose, I think bury your little brother, and then on top of that, I think a week later, my grandmother passed away. And then that was in July. Then in October, my mentor, who also was helping me build this business, he passed away. I was playing golf with him, and he had a heart attack right there on the golf course. So, I'm trying to call 911 and get him help. And basically, he passes away right there in front of me. And then right after that, a week later, my office manager, she passed away.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I
Mm,
went through a whole, I think, a clearing
mm.
of people that were close to me in such a short period of time. And honestly, it was devastating. It was devastating. Um, it goes back to performance. I don't even think I had time to grieve. And no, it wasn't even think I didn't have time to grieve because at the end of the day, I still had clients to serve. I still had, to do things in order to continue to live for myself. And it was a very challenging time.
I don't, and I certainly don't want to gloss over or brush over that because, losing one person is bad enough, but you had multiple in succession. The strength, the inner strength that you had to have and that you still have, because, you're still feeling it. Um, it's, it, it's amazing. And it's something that people need. I want people to learn from that it is possible, to come out on the other side and still, as Beverly says, show up because life continues. So we have to carry that pain. We have to, do whatever it is, whether it's spiritually, physically, however it is that we need to work it to show up. We have to find a way to do that. And what Beverly does, and I really believe it has a lot to do with your sports background. I mean, because a lot of the athletes that I know, I am not. I mean, I play golf, but I am totally a novice.
Oh, we got to get on that golf course then.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know the putt court. But it's how did that those losses, and particularly the loss of your brother, that really inspired you to get into philanthropy, right?
It did. I mean, my brother and I, we were very close. We were, it's important. I don't want to discount that I just picked up and was a strong person. I actually went into a shell for like 2 years,
Mhm,
and I
mhm.
remember there were certain people that would call me every day, almost every day, and say, Beverly, you need to get out of bed. You need to get up. You need to do X, Y, and Z. Or they would come over to my office and stop by and pray with me. And I really needed that at that phase in my life. And then it just, after I think about 2 years, I think it was probably 2013, a couple of my friends from law school took me on a trip down to Key West. That was my first time in Key West. And after I came back from that trip, I said, okay, the grieving period is over. It's time for you to get on with life. But I will say, even in that year and a half, I didn't know that I wasn't grieving. I was actually grieving, but still showing up every day to work, still assisting clients, still showing up to family functions, still. But most of that, you've seen or you've heard about what you call it, functioning alcoholics.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly what I was, a functioning, grieving person,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't until, like I said, I took that trip to Key West that I finally said, okay, it's time for you to stop grieving. This happened, celebrate that person's life. The people that God allowed you to come into contact with, it was truly a blessing. Now it's time for you to really move forward, because I came to give you life, and I want you to have life more abundantly. That's what God says.